Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's great to be here, and I want to thank Bob Miller, of course, one of the campaign chairs, and especially Jim Chaplin, who's come out this evening. Jim is an easy choice. He looks like me, and we often get confused, believe it or not, in public as who is the mayor and who runs the enterprise down in the south part of the city. But anyways, tonight we're talking about plans for the future, and what I wanted to do, and what I thought was important to do, was to present you with a plan that I feel is a comprehensive economic plan to deal with the issues that we're facing. Cambridge, if you go back to its history back in the early days, was an agricultural society. It transformed into a textile society, and then it transformed again into a manufacturing. And then, of course, here we are today, and what we have to do is we have to see that transformation once again, because we have to move on and move into what is known as the knowledge-based economy, the green economy, the advanced manufacturing economy. That's what we have to do, and that's the challenge in front of us. What we have to do as a municipality is to help industry and to help business to create jobs in Cambridge, to keep jobs in Cambridge, to attract jobs to Cambridge. When people come home on a Friday night, what they want to feel secure about is they want to feel secure about on Monday that job is still going to be there. And that's part of the plan that I've put together for this evening, for this fall, and for the next 4 years. It's an economic plan. A plan is like an economic ecosystem composed of 6 strategies. 6 strategies, when you put them together, are the basis of what a municipal government can do to help people in Cambridge to retain the positions they have and to create jobs and to help turn the economy of this community around. So that's where I'm heading in the next few years and the next few months with regards to the campaign. What I want to do is to outline for you the strategy of it. The strategy comes in 6 parts, and all the parts are interrelated. All of them are together make the basis of how we move on. When you're mayor, you have to be holistic in how you approach the community. You have to have a plan across the community that in fact reflects the different needs, the different interests, and the different directions that people want to see us go. And you have to in fact have that ready. And that's what this is all about. It's not just about economics. It's about community. It's about the city of Cambridge taking a direction to revitalize itself and to move into a stronger position fiscally and a stronger position for all its inhabitants. The plan consists of 6 parts, and those 6 parts are in fact together what make up where we're heading. First of all, infrastructure. You talk about infrastructure. If you're going to attract business, industry into this community or keep it here, you have to have an infrastructure in place that's going to work. An infrastructure that will move people around. You have to have the sewage capacity, the water capacity. You have to have the different roads systems working properly in order to establish the interconnections and the connectivity that is so necessary. So what have we done? Coming up right now in the February of 2011, what we're going to see is that forever, what we've been looking for years is the Delta grade separation. We're going to see Town Line Road done. We're going to do 132 kilometers of resurfacing of roads, which is being done right now as we speak. We're spending $18 million in all our pools and arenas to refurbish them. So that's part of the infrastructure that is so necessary in terms of who we are and what we need to keep businesses here, keep industry here, keep jobs here. So where do we go with that in terms of the next steps? Next steps revolve around Go Train to Cambridge, not Go Bus, Go Train, and to have it here by 2015. It revolves around a pedestrian bridge across the 401 on Franklin Boulevard to serve the Hespeler area in terms of pedestrian traffic. And of course, when I spoke to the minister just a month ago, the Highway 24 bypass around Cambridge, an EA that's now taking place at the provincial level to plan and to direct traffic off the middle of this community and around it, out of Ainsley Street and through to Brantford, and have that connectivity from Guelph to Cambridge to Brantford. And it needs to be done, and that's part of our future. That's strategy number 1. Number 2, we have to be a competitive city. In order to attract industry or business, in order to keep people here, we have to be competitive in terms of our taxes. And just recently, as you read in the newspaper last Saturday, Cambridge has the lowest taxes. compared to the other 3 municipalities, Kitchener, Waterloo, and the region of Waterloo, over the last 4 years. We have the lowest payroll increases, the lowest number of people hired, we have the lowest debt charges, the lowest water rates, and we have lowered all our development charges. So that's what we've done on a competitive basis to attract people and to keep people here. And it's become so necessary as part of who we are and what we have been for the last number of years. We're a fiscally conservative community, and we've worked on that very earnestly, and we will continue to work on it. So where do we go? Next Thursday, there will be a release by the CAO of the City of Cambridge. It will reflect on a plan that's been taking place for the last 9 months. It's an internal review of all our departments, and what it will reveal is a major reduction impact on next year's 2011 budget. You don't cut, you don't do things just at budget time. What you do is you do it between budgets, and for 9 months we've been working on this. So we've had a hiring freeze for the last 3 years. We, in fact, have been reviewing internally where we are going, what can be done in a more efficient way, and we have set that tone throughout the city, and I believe reverberating throughout the region. And I think that's absolutely one of the most important things. Also, we move on. Number 3, which is a strategy also part of this plan, and that is to, in fact, entice and to encourage world-class clusters of knowledge-based industry. Because differentiation is the most important ingredient to economic success. And we have to move in that direction. We are not Waterloo. We are not going to become a high-tech capital. But we have to identify and support unique industry clusters. And we have to play to our strength to do it. Our strength, Conestoga College coming into Cambridge. Our strength, the School of Architecture that's already here. With Conestoga College, what I believe we've got to do is to get an accelerator center, somewhat like what they have up in the high-tech park, up in Waterloo, on the Conestoga campus. We have to negotiate with a private developer to start a high-tech park down here. This is part of this whole change and transformation that's important for all of us to move on and to, in fact, as I said, to create those jobs and so on. School of Architecture, not just a School of Architecture, but the finest School of Architecture in Canada. And we need to expand off to that. And with talks with Rick Pallaby, the director, and over the last number of years, I've talked about where we can go and how we can expand the whole concept. We're now talking about making Cambridge into a design center, expanding the school, expanding the gallery space down there, bringing in new design elements to, in fact, give us that kind of knowledge-based background to build and to expand on the School of Architecture, its graduates, that will propel us, I think, into this knowledge-based economy, which is so important. So companies, what's the other thing they're looking for? We come into another strategy. It's about quality of life. It's about making Cambridge the very best place it can possibly be. We live here, we know that. We know what the attributes are. We know how the river connects us from Hespeler down and through Preston down to the downtown. We know what the vital things are for this community that pull us together. But quality of life is essentially one of the most important things. And when industry wants to locate, what they are looking for is they're looking for health care, they're looking for vibrant neighborhoods, they're looking for an active nightlife, they're looking for arts and culture. And that's the kind of composition that makes a community attractive to different industries, different businesses. If you look in terms of RIM itself, RIM in the North End up in Waterloo, one of the difficulties they have is keeping people living in our area because they want to live in Toronto. We're not going to be Toronto, but I think there's a number of things we can do. I had a call from an individual surgeon in Alberta that wanted to come to this area. His number one concern, how many dog parks do you have in Cambridge? That's a part of a quality of life to some people that's very, very important. So we got to build that in a very general sense. So not just dog parks, but things like Drayton Theatre coming into Cambridge. Not only does it solidify and expand the arts and culture of the community, but it also creates jobs. And just as importantly, retains jobs in Cambridge. Because people coming into our city are going to spend money in restaurants, are going to spend money in hotels and in small shops. And that in itself is one of the very reasons to have Drayton Theatre and cultural aspects within the community. That's the important aspects. So Drayton isn't just about arts, it's about a lot more. It's about part of the composition. Fifth thing I'd like to talk about as a strategy is the green economy. We have to become a sustainable community. There's no question about it. We cannot let ourselves fall behind. And what is happening throughout the world now is there is a movement and a recognition that the green economy, that going green is one of the fundamentally sustainable things you have to do. We have to become a sustainable community. I, with members of council, have said, let's put into place a green plan. And we have a 3-stage green plan that's now going in, that's now being looked at by staff. Our corporation's going to be the example for the community. And after we pass those recommendations next year, we're going to move into the community to look at making the city of Cambridge a sustainable community. And in the 3rd stage, putting that implementation plan into practice. Because people coming into our city, green economy is something that is important. People are going to redistribute and reestablish themselves. People are going to change in terms of the type of jobs they have and the type of jobs that are out there. These will be the green collar jobs. And these are the things that we have to go after. And with our own building being a signal, if not a symbol, of this kind of sustainability, City Hall, the finest City Hall in Canada in terms of a LEED program, we have set the example. We're continuing to do that, and we will, in fact, expand on that. Not just with a 3-stage green plan, but with making Boxwood Industrial Subdivision into a LEED subdivision and promoting Cambridge as a place for green companies to come to. Finally, and I think the last thing here is really about making government work. There's a lot of criticism about government at times. There's a lot of concern about the cost of government. And I think what we have to do is to recognize that this region is a metropolitan region. World-class cities are not single-tier municipalities. They are, in fact, metropolitan communities. The City of Boston has 284 communities within its metropolitan area. We only have 7. We can make it work, and we can move on in terms of a collaboration. But it has to be a new collaboration and a new way of going. So what I'm suggesting is, in fact, that the mayors of this region next term have got to take a more active and positive role in terms of leadership in bringing the communities together, in terms of working together both economically and socially. That's what we have to do. We also have to bring accountability to government. And what I'm suggesting is, in fact, what we have to do for next term. I would think that regional government needs to have off-year elections so that people can focus on it and can, in fact, have a better understanding of what is happening at the regional level that takes 50% of the tax bill. There has to be changes because what we have is not working as well as it could work, and that has to change. I'm also suggesting, as I have suggested at the region on 3 separate occasions, a hiring freeze at that level of government. I think they need to stop. We've done it for the last 3 years. Essentially, we've done it for the last 20 years, and there's no reason why the region can't do that. And we have to bring that accountability into the whole system at all the local levels. So there are 6 strategies. It's a plan. Put together, as I said, it's an economic ecosystem that when you put it together, it in fact focuses and attracts business, industry, sets the stage for change within this community, and gives us a direction. It's a plan about putting Cambridge first. And when you put Cambridge first, you bring us as an equal partner so that when we discuss rapid transit, we are part of the rapid transit, not left out. I can't support anything but a rapid bus system from Cambridge down on Ainslie Street up to the mall at Conestoga Mall in Waterloo. That is connectivity. That's working together. That's something we can afford, and that's the direction we have to go. Ladies and gentlemen, putting Cambridge first is important to all of us. Working together, putting Cambridge first is important to all of us in terms of the well-being of this community. And that, over the next number of years, next number of months, are places that I think we have to visit. The plan is in place. It's the plan I'm going out with. People want something from their leaders. They want hope, and they want leadership that will give it to them. And this plan, in the direction I want to go in the next number of months, is the hope and leadership I feel that I can help this community move ahead and move ahead faster than other communities in terms of the recession and the economic problems we've had. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.